What's up, guys? Welcome to Mr. Suburbia. I'm back, beardless and a little bit fatter, but most importantly, I got a new mod for my truck finally. I know it's been a long time, but came in the middle of last night, and I definitely had to make a new video for you guys because it's been quite a long time, and it's been quite a long time since I did anything to the truck. Last week was the first time I actually messed with the truck. I put some LED lights on there, and I'll cover that in a minute, but I didn't film it because it was pretty uneventful. But anyway, without further notice, let's go ahead and unbox this, or unbag it, I guess. This is the blue spring rod. Not really necessary for the knife there, I guess. This was sold by GWA Motorsports on Amazon.com. 22 bucks. This is something I've been wanting to do for the truck for quite a long time. As you can see here, we got the keyhole gasket, a couple other parts and gaskets, new bolts, and this cap. Now out of this whole setup, this whole kit that you get, I guess guys are saying they use everything but this here because it's not as good quality as stock. I'll check it out though, see what my stock one looks like, but I'm probably just going to end up using the blue spring and the other parts here as described by most forums and so on and so forth. This is the actual spring itself, obviously, and this is where all the benefits of this little modification come into play. Supposedly what it's supposed to do is add about 15 to 20 psi to your fuel system, and the reason that's important is if you are running low fuel pressure at idle or wide open throttle, this will help alleviate that. But also, especially if you're running a tune and you're kind of maximizing what your engine's doing while you're driving it, you can starve your stock injectors with the stock fuel system, and therefore you would burn out the injectors a lot faster. This is a really cheap little bit of hardware that helps prolong the life of your injectors by adding a few more pounds of pressure to your fuel system. So a couple other things I wanted to touch on before I got started installing this blue spring kit, which, by the way, the installation instructions are right here on the envelope. So if you buy this kit, don't throw away the envelope before you install it, because you get it just has the web link right here. Follow that and they get all the installation instructions. But anyway, before I get started on that, I wanted to talk to you about a couple things that I've done to the truck and one thing that's wrong with the truck. Actually, one thing I've done and one thing that's wrong. So first of all, something that's going on with the truck lately is I'm leaking coolant like crazy. As you can see here, I got quite a big puddle of coolant where the truck usually is parked, and it's leaking coolant when it's cold, not when it's hot. But I got a little tiny couple drops right down the floor just over the last 20 minutes while the truck's been sitting here. So while I'm up there installing the blue spring kit, I'm going to take the airbox off and see if I can find some loose hose clamps. I already found a couple loose hose clamps underneath the truck going to the radiator today, so I'll be checking that. And then basically I've just been topping this off with coolant as I go, so it doesn't get too low, which is not something I like doing to the truck. Anyway, hopefully I get that resolved today, because that's something that's been bothering me a lot lately. But another modification I did to the truck recently, it's a pretty small one, still kind of cool though because it was free and I love free stuff. But I went ahead and put on these LED floodlights, which I'm using as fog lights, and basically these here came off of one of our utility trucks at work. They got updated lights, so I went ahead and snagged these, and they're not designed for this application whatsoever, but they ended up working out okay. I went ahead and just took off the OEM brackets back here that the original fog lights mount to, pulled those out, took the fog lights off, drilled holes, and got these mounted onto there, and then went ahead and just soldered everything up to the existing fog light wires. It's all 12 volt, and then wrapped it with this new corrugated wire protector here. So not the most professional job. I would have liked to keep the original fog lights in and mount these elsewhere. I just couldn't figure out where to mount them, but it ended up working okay because they're actually on the fog light switch in the truck, so I didn't have to add any switches. The wiring took me about 10 minutes to do, and the mounting them to the brackets took about 15. So all in all, not too bad at all. It was like I said, it was free for me because I had these lying around our office, and they're definitely a huge step up from the OEM fog lights as far as brightening up the area immediately in front of my truck. They don't angle down at all, so that's something that's disappointing. However, nothing on this truck is low for lighting up a foggy roadway anyway. So since I've lifted the truck, these lights haven't been doing a great job of shining light down and out. They're kind of just more way out, and I wanted something to light up the immediate area around my truck, and those definitely serve the purpose. Anyway guys, I'm gonna go ahead and dive into the truck now. I gotta get set up and get my tools out, and I'll kind of just be touching base throughout the day on how installation's going, the process, basically how it's all done. That way there you have kind of an idea. And then most importantly to me, I wanted to do a good driving video because I figure there's tons of stuff as far as install. Sorry guys, my camera keeps shutting off on me right in the middle of recording. Full battery, I don't know what's going on with it. Anyway, like I was saying, there's a ton of write-ups on installation, so I don't want to cover too much of that unless I run into something tricky that I feel like you guys would benefit from seeing the process on. But the main thing is there's not a whole lot of information on how the Blue Spring mod affects driving after it's installed, and just the way your truck behaves after you get that mod installed with a tune, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and get that installed, and then it's been so long since I filmed, I forgot how to hold the camera. Anyway guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and I'll kind of touch base throughout the day. All right, so guys, I found the coolant leak following the instruction video to the install of the Blue Spring. Has me remove the CAC tube here, and where my upper radiator hose connects into the thermostat housing here. I don't know if you can even see it, but there's coolant residue all along the side of the thermostat housing, dripping all the way down. You can see it maybe down there on the block a little bit. Kind of hard to get the camera down in there, but anyway, I traced that coolant residue all the way back up to here. Quick Google search had me find that it's pretty common for this hose clamp here to not be tightened properly, or for it to just have leaks. So I'm glad that's all it was. It just seems like a bad connection there. So I just went ahead and pressed this hose down as much as I could onto the thermostat housing. Went ahead and tightened that hose clamp up as tight as I could freaking get it. Hopefully that stops. But as soon as I loosened that hose clamp to push that hose down, it was like instant puddle under my truck. And it's identical to the same pattern as how it's been leaking. So it's definitely the same path. Glad that was it. If it continues to leak, oh yeah, and see, there it is on the back of my airbox, consistent again with coming from right here. So if it continues to leak, what I will end up doing is pulling this radiator hose off and getting a new radiator hose and a new hose clamp and throwing that on there. It's a pretty easy fix. It's right up top. By the way guys, on the instructional video, so I go to follow this envelope to AAignition.com instructions. Then you can see right here we got 460 Blue Spring fuel pressure regulator upgrade installation. So click on that, and it's just a YouTube video, and this guy's installing it. He has you take off the CAC tube completely, or the turbo tube as he calls it. He doesn't really quite know what it is. Anyway, what I did is I just took my airbox off, because when I replaced that turbo, it it was a pain in the ass to get that cac tube connected on down here. So I went ahead and just loosened it up down there, pulled my air box out, and then disconnected it from there, pulled it up and leaned it up out of the side. That way they don't have to try to mess with getting that cac tube reconnected down here, and I just have to worry about it up there because that is a freaking pain in the ass. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and proceed. But as you can see, you know, before I go any further, here's that housing, the one that I got, you know, in the package. So everything's going to be right here. It's pretty up and easy to work on. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm glad I found that coolant leak. All right, guys. Well, I got the truck put back together here. Everything is complete. Hopefully I'm not leaking any more coolant, and the blue spring mod is installed. So now I'm going to go ahead and well, first I'll show you some of the old stuff here. I did not end up using the new housing. Left that one to the old, and I did use the keyhole, the new keyhole gasket. Here's obviously the old spring. The blue one was a lot bigger, and then this here is brass. This is the old one. The new one's also brass. So on the video on the installation, it looks like the stock ones were plastic. So someone actually got in here and has replaced some of the stuff before in the life of this truck. Also, my fuel filter housing did not have one of these in it. It was like a modified one, so I actually did not need this plastic guide. It was kind of like a manufactured into the housing of the fuel filter, so I didn't need to use that one. And my air valve was in good condition, so I just left that alone. Anyway, I'm gonna get this truck fired up. I just cleaned up the garage a little bit, and so obviously I'm gonna cycle that fuel a little bit, a couple times with the key, so because a lot of fuel came out. You can see down here I have a good little mixture of fuel back there, coolant right here, and looks like I just saw another drop of coolant fall. Hopefully that resolves it. Like I said, if not, then I'm gonna have to go get some more coolant, as well as another hose clamp and radiator hose and try that out. I did put some coolant in there, or some antifreeze in there just a second ago. Just this final charge, the Center Life coolant. Anyway, so we'll start this up, go for a little drive, and I'm gonna come back. I gotta wash this thing. It snowed here last week, and definitely want to get that salt and stuff off the truck before it starts corroding the paint worse than it already is. I'm going to let that truck warm up a little bit, and then we'll go for a drive. Alright guys, well, I've been out driving this thing around for a little bit, and I gotta tell you, it feels great. It's not a huge power upgrade from what I was before, but I'm about to turn on a highway here, and if it's nice and wide open, I'll roll down the windows here so you can hear the truck and all that good stuff. But it definitely feels a lot more solid. Here we go. Let's get her over with, huh? That's about all I had before I was gonna run into this little Nissan in front of me for a little Versus. Probably pretty scared. Got a big diesel truck chasing it. Anyway, not a huge performance increase, but you definitely feel a difference in that power band. It doesn't feel like it's starving for fuel by any means. The color of my exhaust has changed pretty dramatically. When it gets colder, especially out here in Colorado, I've noticed on my truck, as well as other diesels around town, that the color of their exhaust has changed from like a black to almost a dark gray or a blue gray. And that I think has a lot to do with just colder, thinner air. Also maybe changes in the viscosity of the fuel or whatever. I don't really know the chemistry behind fuel and how it interacts with the weather outside, but I'll tell you what, my exhaust has changed color since I put the Blue Spring mod in 20 minutes ago. Couldn't tell you about my fuel economy. It's too soon to really say. I've been getting on it a lot since I left my house, and I'm still hammering it on the gas pedal quite a bit. But all in all, I say it's probably one of the best $22 I've ever spent on my truck. You know, and it's more of a peace of mind thing for me, as I probably said in the video already. But with having the tune on here, as well as all the other work that I put into the truck, I don't want these injectors to go, because I really can't afford a new set of injectors right now. So this is just something to help prolong the life of the injectors. And you know, I'm really not racing this truck around often. I get on it more so in these videos than I do any other time, and that's just to show you guys kind of how the truck's driving. Otherwise, unless I'm passing somebody, I'm driving fairly normal. Really just want this truck to last me and be a good, reliable vehicle for me. So it's got 236,000 miles on it, and I'd like to get quite a bit more. I don't have any plans on selling this thing right now, or for a while. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna head home, get this truck washed. I gotta wash my wife's car and my car, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys soon. I know it's been a while. I haven't even taken my GoPro out of the bag for about 3 months. So hopefully I'll make another video soon and get it up for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If this is your first time stopping by and you don't mind waiting 3 to 4 months for a video, please subscribe. I'd appreciate a subscription anyway. But yeah, have a great day. Thanks for watching.